Hi friends, welcome back to Playing Tribute to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We are about to head into the courtroom, and we need to win this case today. Yeah, part 3, and we gotta win it. We gotta win it now. Due to the ransom, I guess, or it is the ransom to save Maya. So, as we get started, I'm gonna actually remember to look through the court record again and make sure that we know what we have so that we can use it in the trial. Let's get started. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Oh no. What do you want? It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For myself, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial begins. Even if you don't like my gift. I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! Kidnapper sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer Dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? The court is now in session for the trial of Matt Engard. Alright, before we go further, let's take a look. These two are not important. So, we got the Nickel Samurai. Here's our picture. Press conference ticket to the show that nobody knows was happening. Or at least, okay, the manager knew that it was happening. Matt Engard did not. This is my radio transceiver to talk to the killer. The kidnapper. Lotta's camera, right. This was stolen on the night of the murder. And there was a tabloid article about the victim in the case. Speaking of the article of the tabloid, talking about Juan Corrida close with Adrian Andrews. The map, which we saw last time. I wonder if that's going to be of any use. The guitar case, which is weird, because there was water on it, on top of it, and there was no guitar. So his bright red guitar is missing. We've got the wine glass, which was also really weird. It was just sitting there, even though everything else was kind of askew and knocked over. We've got the crime photo, which even shows the glass there, and also a bottle of tomato juice in the corner. And Celeste Impact's suicide report. No sign of the note. And then Adrian Andrews, which we promised we would not talk about. So, let's get this party started. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Ms. Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. The court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Ms. Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Ms. Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she disappeared, this would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Ms. Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Ms. Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Welcome back to the prosecutor's bench there, Edgeworth. Been a long time. Ms. Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and I'm familiar with the details. Which shoulder was her father shot in? Was that also his right? I'm just finding the similarities, great. Poor Francisca. She did not deserve that. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Edgard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling on my long journey the past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. This music, though. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of the case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer we were struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. Victim, Juan Corda, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the case of death, the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. I love when they provide extra details like that. That's something to press. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay, we never got the cause of death. Do we have an autopsy report? days. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Cordo was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Wow. 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 Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, real pro's attention will be drawn here to his bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped around tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. And then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Okay, there it is. That's what I wanted. Cool. So, yeah, let's talk about that guitar case. But before we do, I do want to see this. I just don't like to press the button that presents evidence, just in case I accidentally, press something that I don't want to. Time of death, 8:15, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Okay, and remember, the knife had Matt's fingerprints on it. So, that whole framing thing, I mean, that seems kind of like, why would you stab a dead body? Talking about the guitar case, why would you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere on the scene of the crime. Oh, and then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought that too. But... the only fingerprints on the guitar case are the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory, then. Okay. That's important. Clearly, it was updated in the court record. Okay, this is where we take it in. So, some water, but only on the top. Bears poured his fingerprints. Okay, so there's water on the top of it, which means that something spilled. Maybe during the problem, like the scuffle, but then it was open. So it was opened after the crime, which is something to do with the case. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well, then where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corda, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So the guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt Engard and Juan Corda were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Gosh. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, wasn't it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Okay, that's going to be important later. Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. I'm actually not pressing anything this time. It was something that I noticed on our evidence that I believe contradicts a certain statement in his testimony. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Huh? It has Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel, the crime scene. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that's very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. Oh, Gumshoe. He just gets kicked around all the time. This poor guy. Loyal as a dog. But this poor guy. Heart of gold. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corridan's room. Sorry, Your Honor. That is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Engard. Oh, dang it. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Engard's knife was missing. Mr. Engard had gone to the victim's room with a knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. But he wasn't killed with a knife. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth has this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. Yeah, they keep calling it a murder weapon, but he didn't die from the knife, he died from the scarf. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to court. evidence not yet shown to the court? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? What? The glass? The glass hasn't been shown. Maybe the glass. Well, Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. There's a reason for that, Mia. If we answer with something wrong here, the gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? YOLO! There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance. Only one. What the judge is saying, please don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Oh my gosh! So, hey, welcome to the last case of the game, where the first court scene, does this to your health bar here. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? Okay, the fact that it went through all of that and didn't just be like, hey, you're stupid and wrong, blah blah blah, means that there is something to resent. Of course, you always say yes, because if you say no, then you can't continue. So I think that the glass is important, because it was found next to the victim, it's in the crime scene photo, which makes me wonder if that counts as the court seeing it? It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Take that! Take that! Ah, the music stopped. That means that I'm correct. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against the assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. I don't think they're impressed. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth. What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there's no special meaning to that glass. What? It is safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright? Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? I mean... it's possible. Were there no fingerprints on it? No sign it's been drank. I don't know. She'd have to be very close to the body to have done that. Also, how did she get over all of that stuff? I don't know. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. Oh great, I'm bluffing. That's great. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. We've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Edgeworth doesn't bluff. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. There it is. Fingerprints? There is only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were Adrian Anders. Nah. Okay. I've placed her in the room. Well, we all knew that she was in the room. She found the body. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I fell into another trap! Miss Andrews was probably heard holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrigan. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. Alright, hi guys. For some reason my capture is acting up, so it might be a little bit jump cutty here. From where we left off here. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Oh, shoot. I don't think I'm recording. No! I am so sorry, guys. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness, and you don't want him to pass judgment, okay? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh no. For a moment I thought it was going to be Adrian Andrews. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Gotcha!
Wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy! It's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me!
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that moment it was the wicked witch of the witness stand. Yep, he's lost his cool.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with a terrible crime.
So much for knowing what to do. Mr. Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say when news are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel the night of the murder. This is correct, Miss Oldbag.
It was a great job being able to see my dear Yuan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that Engard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something.
I think it was refreshing like a spring breeze.
But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrigan.
Aren't they the same age? Yep. But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
She's speaking so slowly. well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
Oh, gosh. Do I have to? Do I have to listen to this? They say that third time's a charm. Let's, Sorry about the skip cut again. We keep getting interrupted. That time the fire alarm went off. If you know me outside of YouTube, you know the pain. Let's continue.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in the front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Engard. That Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
And he didn't see you? So Mr. Engard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Oh, well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yeah, she went to creep outside the hallway. Something that she was interested in finding out. I know exactly what it was. Let's see if we can press for it. Something you were interested in. And just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret, between me and Juan. Oh, and Edgy, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip. If this has something to do with the case, then you can append it to your testimony. Looks like we shouldn't enforce it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Be sure to keep a good eye out. Okay, we know she was after the gossip of the tabloid. Alright, how does she know? What? Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. He was...
Okay, get on with it.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
You just said it earlier in the testament. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now.
Well, I guess I can tell you, since it was such a bad boy anyway.
Alright. You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yes, see?
Really?
Annoying brat! When I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a mess like last year, I should delve into this a bit further. A mess like last year? Let's talk about the person's clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. After all, the thing was found in his akama, so...
What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing, the racing jacket.
Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men!
Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Actually, it was. Because if he was wearing the racing jacket, he likely wasn't wearing his hakama. Desk slam. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please.
Oh, well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
Do I present it now? I think I might just.
Objection!
Miss Oldbag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
Ah, the button number 2 on Gem and Ninja's costume.
What? How did... Never mind. Don't even want to get there. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Even covered in blood.
Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this.
Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Engard's body during a full body search.
See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Engard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants.
See? See? And Engard is the nickel samurai.
You're missing the point. Witness! Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Engard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, you would... Oh, boy.
Somebody stop. Judge, please pound your gavel. Anyone at all. Francisca would whip her at this point. I do miss her whip. Oh, something about Edgy Poo having style. Great. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Engard, the man, but Mr. Engard, the nickel samurai?
But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway.
Yeah, we had this problem last year. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth thinking about. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
All right, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Oh boy. Alright, who did you see, woman?
Engard. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai, that's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. It would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn the nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside the costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Youngins today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
Not likely. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not?
Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What'd you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what?
See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well,
what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that?
You are in a court of law.
The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies?
All that matters is that man was inside the costume. Isn't that enough?
And it's convenient because of the post-ceremony... Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing.
And that included the Jammin' Ninja.
Of course it included him. That's why when Engard came out of Dear Ron's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
Well, anyway.
Must have worn the nickel samurai when he was stabbing poor... I'm going out of order, sorry. Why would it be convenient?
That way no one can see his face, of course.
But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out all the more.
You are such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say.
It's kind of my job. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? That too.
I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume.
Okay. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai?
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Okay. Have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. So, she's talking about stabbing him. It's not that, is it? Oh. Oh. Okay, I see what it wants me to do. I just don't know. I think this is where I present the poster. If he was wearing the costume while he was stabbing Juan, he wouldn't be leaving any fingerprints. I'm gonna try the poster first. Because I've already presented the knife. Okay. Clearly that was not the right answer. You guys hear me. You guys see where my train of thought is. I might be ahead of things. Though, because I'm prone to do that in this game. Where I jump ahead of the way. Then let's go back to the knife. Maybe the poster comes later. Please take a look at this. Or maybe I needed the poster to know that the fingerprints on the knife were impossible. But that was just for me, for my sake, not for presenting to the court. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, so is a knife. Big deal.
I think I change her voice every time I do it.
If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it will not work.
No, that's not my intention at all. It's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? Mr. Edgeworth has a nice one, according to that terrible case of the first game. If Mr. Engard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Maybe I present the poster now. Oh, that's right! The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began stabbing. Why? Why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There is no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that the defendant and the victim had bad blood between them. Yes, I have heard of that. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? It's bonkers. Let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intentions of killing him. That contradicts the knife. Yes, there is a contradiction. Desk slam. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? For argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Engard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. The knife, again. This knife. This was used by Mr. Engard at dinner. Yeah, so we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corrida. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? He's very calm. Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over the knife like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt Engard, of course. To frame my client, Mr. Engard, of course. To frame... Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume, and if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. There's your crack. Witness!
Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Engard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that. Look, I was waiting around front doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure.
Yeah, she was looking for Adrian. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then?
Best top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida. Am I correct, witness?
The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe, Phoenix, maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. Yeah, thanks, Mia. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Engard's manager. But why would the defendant manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is, well, this is... I see. It did that thing where it stopped recording again, guys. Hold for just a moment while I make sure that it is still recording. Okay. Let's do it. We can do it. We can finish this before it goes completely berserk. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn of confidentiality stuff.
Witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how do you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well, then. Witness, please testify about the secret information.
Get ready! This is going to take the wind out of your youngins.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this, really. It's not like we're 10 years old. And Pearl's not here, so...
That Engard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So, to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
I thought you said you got it from a certain source. The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will toward the victim. So this means I have to smash the rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right! Engard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Time to fire the afterburners and hit the highway to this danger zone. Oh boy. Yeah, go on. We know that's not true. We know why she was going there. You don't have any proof that Mr. Engard did any such thing.
You must be suffering from shock. The shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right.
You're right. I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you.
Alright then, Sonny. Show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that Engard didn't bear any ill will toward Juan?
What? Of course he did. I have no evidence to show that he did not. They hated each other. It was bad. I don't have anything to offer.
See? Just as I thought.
And you were lecturing me about saying things without proof.
You just give me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy.
Me and my big mouth.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, for you anyway.
What exactly was the action you took? So what do you mean by I took action?
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait and close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need.
You were going to teach her a good lesson?
I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this.
No, stop.
Well, it was too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night.
Top secret, nobody else but you and me know. So what was your source, though?
Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Oh, well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it.
I have a feeling I know why she knows the secret information.
Even if you drill a hole in my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? I know. I know. I know. Do I press further or do I present evidence? Let's... If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today.
Itchy boy, what are you doing? Help me.
What do I have to do with this?
Just do this for me.
You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Yes, I know. Okay, sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anyone really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm going to press the heck out of it. Okay, well, I already pressed the heck out of it, so I think it's time to resent the heck out of it. So, please, go on. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Ms. Oldbag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness! I'm sad to say it, but this is how you found out the secret, isn't it? Take that! The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note that she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Ms. Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
I didn't fully say that. No, I said impressions!
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless!
Aha! That's it! That's the note!
No, you see, this is something completely different! This is my top secret list of groceries to buy!
And then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note?
I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Engard. She said so herself. Engard, I'm his sidekick. What? She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. I'm so confused. I think everybody is. Jifu, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. What about the camera?
You really should come up with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook just this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No! More pressure! If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Should I present to the camera again? Ms. Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? Camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweet $1,600 camera disappeared on me."
Witness? What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera, too.
Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
Yeah, that's,
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love. I borrow things from people.
I think your definition of borrow is a little off.
I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slime Bag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things.
Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Photographs are nice, are good evidence for things. It's great. It's great stuff. Ooh, well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to court. This is the Nickel Samurai.
See, I told you. That's the guy I saw.
This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it was the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in this Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. That's gonna be a problem. There's something odd about that, wouldn't you say? How did it come to this? I think this brings us to an end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? Absolutely not. If this photo is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took. There's something strange. There's something strange with this photo. I'm not bluffing this time. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's something strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, yay, I love these one-hit KOs. I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot? Especially when it counts. Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? I would say, the length of the hakama. I'd like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankle, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The Nickel Samurai in this photo could not have been Mr. Ankar. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Again, using the poster to help me. Please pay particular attention to this area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that with his hand. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. Turn about, turn about. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. Yeah, I agree. He is very calm. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only think that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then he's not taking any damage? I'm not fighting the bad guy? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt Engard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. He's just so chill. I thought it would come to this. What? Right. I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt Engard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm, and why is he baiting me into this like this? Is this another trap? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Well, our other suspect is Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that nickel samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say it would be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense motions to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. Wow. Let me try to say that sentence again because that was such a meaningful line. I don't want to mess it up. The defense motions to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. The verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. All right, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. That'd be bad. One more day? Ugh. If I don't get a verdict today, then my, Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection! Now then. Objection! Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not... I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth. Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. What do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. We named her as a suspect before court even started, Edgeworth, I'll have you know. What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution lobby. She is the next witness. Well, that's convenient. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Oh boy. Well, that's that. I think I've been going on for quite a while. We had a lot of interruptions. The unlucky part of the game of this final case, where Phoenix is scrambling around and I am scrambling around trying to make sure that the video works properly. So hopefully everything was okay in that little blackout moment. I read every line in that moment, so I think it'll be alright. Sorry again about that and all the other interruptions and jump cuts and weirdness. But it should be good to go for next time. We'll see. So that's that. We have a little bit of more time in court today. We got another part coming up, and I guess I will talk to you guys then.